Hello, and welcome to the first episode of Crossover Crisis, a new podcast hosted by myself, Crystal, and
Colton.
Colton. Uh, Not our first podcast we've done together. Hopefully, this one sticks around a bit longer because I'm actually really excited for this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Now, basically, the general overview is each episode we're gonna take some other crossover from whatever media type and just discuss it. And um I it sounds very like a very niche thing. It's very specific, but I just have this real fascination with crossovers.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I just find them really interesting to see these worlds come together that were never really intended to, and just see what you can
Come up with and create.
yeah, what they can make out of that.
Oh, yeah.
um and there's certain things where the lines get blurred a little bit on what is and
Mm-hmm.
isn't a crossover, like Avengers. When Avengers came out, I might have said it was a crossover,
Mm-hmm.
but I wouldn't really anymore because all the movies plots are meant to mesh together
Mashed
in that
together.
way.
Yeah.
Whereas you have something like the CW Arrowverse with Arrow and the Flash and everything, where while they all occupy the same universe, their plots rarely intertwine. So when they
Mm-hmm.
do a crossover, it still feels
It's like a
like
big deal.
it should be called a crossover.
Yeah.
So those will probably get covered at some point, but the only MCU properties we would cover are something like No Way Home, which that is definitely a crossover.
Yeah.
Multiverse of Madness coming up. Yeah. So stuff like that
Cool.
would count, whereas Avengers would not. And sometimes that's just kind of up to our own judgment, because then you get to something like iCarly and Victorious. They had that crossover, but then there was a spin-off of both shows. You had Sam and Cat.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd still say that counts. We might cover Sam and Cat at some point. Who knows?
Sounds good. Hell yeah.
It's all up to judgment sometimes, and maybe sometimes you'll look at it and think we're being a bit contradictory in how we decide things, but eh.
It's our podcast.
It's our show, it's our podcast. We'll do what we want. Thank you for listening or watching. Whichever one of these you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
And for this first episode, we have the Sonic movie coming up. So I was looking through, what are some the second Sonic movie, I should say. I was looking through what are some Sonic crossovers, and there's a few here and there in the comics, but the one that really landed with me was this episode of OKKO. Let's Meet Sonic. But before we really get into our discussion of that, why don't we just talk about what's going on with us?
Yeah, hell yeah. How have you been?
Update. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Good.
I got myself a new chair. It's
Oh,
not gonna squeak on the microphone anymore.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was actually genuinely excited about that.
New chairs are always fun.
Yeah.
That's like the best part of gaming or doing anything at your computer is your chair.
And this is just like a cheap one from Walmart, but it's not squeaky and loud as shit like the old one was.
There you go.
So.
Hell yeah.
I'm starting to get some videos edited of my streams. Get like every other week, get a stream edited down into a 20-30 minute video. I've gotten the first one of those put out. That's really exciting.
Yeah. Is it on your main channel? Is it on a second channel?
Yep,
Okay.
same channel that this is going to go on to. I'm not creating a separate channel for this.
Right.
Which, if you're doing the math there, if I'm doing one of those every other week and the show comes out every other week, then that means there should be new YouTube videos every week.
Every week.
Fingers crossed. That they're baby speed bumps or whatever. But yeah,
That's life.
that is the goal here.
Hell yeah.
Other than that, I just came back from Morbius. It was
Wow.
Morbius.
Not a fan.
No, here, you know what? I have two nice things to say about Morbius. One,
Okay.
Matt Smith actually somehow managed to like fake a chemistry with Jared Leto's completely emotionless performance.
That's pretty good.
So props to him. And two, the visuals are actually phenomenal. Like they do
Are they?
not belong in a movie that bad. A movie that bad should not be so good to look at.
Sony just threw a ton of money on it after the success of Spider-Man. I feel like that's why it also got delayed, is so that they can go back and do.
Oh, they confirmed that they delayed it.
Yeah. Okay.
So that it wouldn't like compete with No Way Home. It would look better on like quarterly sales reports or whatever. That was why they moved it from January to April.
Gotcha.
And those post-credit scenes they're dumb. They're dumb.
Cool.
Have you heard about them?
Nope, I have not.
So,
enlighten me.
You've got the first one we cut in, the sky is all being broken apart like at the end of No Way Home.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Adrian Toomes, Michael Keaton, just materializing in a jail cell.
Okay.
And he's a little confused, but he's like, that's weird. And then they just let him go because he has no record of crimes in that universe. So
I feel like that's not how that works.
I mean, there's like a whole news report that are like, there's a weird thing. This guy just appeared, and we're gonna take him to trial, but he'll probably get to go because we have no criminal record.
Wow.
And then a little bit more credits plays, and then we cut to another one, and Morbius is like driving to like a field like outside New York or whatever, like a tiny island or something, and Vulture just flies in. And he's like, I have no idea how I got here, but I think it has something to do with Spider-Man. You want to team up? You want to make the Sinister Six with me? Is basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Morbius just goes intriguing, and then it cuts to the rest of the credits, and it's like, why do you have any interest in that when you have no idea who Spider-Man even is?
Yeah. Dude's not even on your radar yet. Yeah.
I do like Vulture's new suit though that he has. Yeah. Looks the mask like there's like a semblance of a beak on the mask in the way they designed it. Sick. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, not a good movie.
2 thumbs down or 1 thumb down?
I gave it 1 star out of 5, so take that how you will.
No bueno.
No.
It's not what you like to see.
But what's new with you?
Not a lot really.
Yeah.
Trying to think. I'm playing more games again.
Yeah.
I've been on the Valheim grind. My buddy finally got me onto Valheim, and that game is addicting. That is a time sink. But other than that, yeah, that's really all I've been doing. School and Valheim.
Well done.
Hell yeah.
Well, I suppose we should get into the next section of this podcast, which is our general thoughts on these franchises as they exist on their own outside of the crossover. So I'd say we start with OKKO since the crossover is an episode of that show.
I love it.
Yeah, I watched like a little bit of it when I was in high school, but I had, so many other shows. Steven Universe was still on at the time. I had a lot of other, and the show is actually created by one of the crew from Steven Universe.
Okay.
Ian Jones Cordy worked on Steven Universe, and there's definitely like got that vibe to it, but it still has its own identity at the same time. But I watched a little bit here and there, but I couldn't keep up with it. But when I decided to do this, I was like, okay, I'll sit down, I'll watch a few episodes, kind of get a vibe so that we can talk about it in this portion. and it sucked me in so much. I watched the entire first season, which is also like
Holy cow.
half the show. There's 50 episodes in the first season.
Yeah.
And I watched all of it.
Holy cow. I'm only like 20 episodes in. I got through like 7 or 8 last night, and then I watched like another 10 this morning.
And they're,
and then
they're 11-minute episodes. There's the occasional 20-minute, special in there, but it's very reminiscent of the Saturday morning cartoons of yesteryear. You know, it's a very modernized take on that, and I think that is especially apparent when you watch the Captain Planet crossover, which we may dedicate an episode to at some point. Spoiler alert, I didn't really care for it too much. I have my issues with it. But it's fine, it's charming. But it doesn't have a narrative. It has continuity, but there's no larger narrative like a lot of modern kids cartoons are doing. Steven Universe, Adventure Time. Ben 10 was hopping on that trend way before, all of that. I know there's one Ben 10 crossover we can talk about at some point in the future. And then you got your kind of generic Cartoon Network stuff that had Ben 10 in it, but I love Ben 10. Ben 10 was my first special interest, actually. But I fell off.
There you go.
I fell off of it when Omniverse came out. I did not.
Was it bad?
I did not care for it at all. I did not care for it.
Gotcha.
Anyway, got a little sidetracked there. When you have a show like this that doesn't have a big narrative going on, it's really important that you have great characters that can drive each individual story and that you can care about each time. And this show does a great job with that. I love the characters. They're all fun. They're all very unique. You compare any two characters together and you will get different interactions with them. They each have unique chemistries. And I love that. It's a very well-rounded cast. I'm particularly fond of Enid. She's my favorite.
Yes, me too. Yeah, she's awesome.
And I do believe she's canonically bi as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think I've seen. If you're listening, you're missing out here. But I think I've seen an image. I've seen an image of her with like a bi flag sticker on like her bike helmet, and then I think she does get a girlfriend at one point.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, she's so fun. Have you gotten to Parents' Day yet?
Maybe.
The one where we meet her parents?
I don't think so, actually.
Okay, that is a great episode for her. That was when I already liked her, but I watched that episode and I was like, you're my favorite for sure.
Yep, that's like another 15, 16 episodes ahead of me right now. So,
yep.
I'll get there eventually. I'll probably finish the show in like a day or two. I absolutely love it. It's just good fun.
I got through just the first season in 2 days, and the first season takes up half the show because seasons 2 and 3 are a bit shorter.
Gotcha.
Except I do believe the finale is an hour long. So
it's like a big jump from like 10, 11 minutes to like an hour.
And I mean, Steven Universe did the same thing, but it also had, I don't know how many half-hour specials KKO had sprinkled in, but Steven Universe had started to get a few. It didn't get to its first one until its 100th episode, but after that it started doing a few more here and there. Anyway, KKO, really enjoying it. I'm really glad that I came back. I gave it another chance because it's so much fun. The humor of the show is so on point. It just has little running jokes that I just enjoy every time. Like every time KO goes, "What's that?" It just
What's that?
And but he'll do it with like everything. He's like, "What's that? Who's that?"
What's that? He's just curious.
Yeah. And he was just a little kid. I did love the joke. I don't know if you've gotten to this yet, but he's like 6 to 11 years ago. That's exactly how old I am.
I don't know if I have.
So it's just, which is just a joke on the target demographic of the show, 6 to 11, but it's very fun. Lots of little fun hidden stuff in the background. My favorite joke so far, I even sent this one to you,
Yep.
was when he goes to pull a coin out of his pocket and 2 moths fly out, like would in a cartoon to signify that his pocket is empty. And then he just goes, "No! My moth collection!"
Yeah, that part, yeah. That was funny as hell.
I rewound on that one a few times because it was just.
It's just out of the box, out of
Yeah.
the blue. It's just a good play.
Yeah, and a joke is good when you just gotta keep rewinding to hear it again.
100%.
But yeah, anything I haven't said that you know?
No,
feel about the show?
I absolutely love this show, and I'm glad that you were like, yo, let's do a crossover episode on this, because it's definitely a show where if I'm scrolling through Hulu, I'm just gonna skip it and go on to the next thing. But then
Is it
you're
on?
like, yep.
Is it on Hulu?
That's where I'm watching it.
Oh, I'm watching on
Yep.
HBO Max. So.
Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay. I could switch then.
No,
no.
watch it how you want. I
totally love it.
I do wonder if the episodes are in a different order though, because I noticed I have an app that I use to keep track of where I am in shows, and I've noticed when I'm like going through to find the episode, they're like all out of order, at least in the first season. And since it's episodic, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
The ones that need to be next to each other are, but I was also like, episode 5 was like Plaza Shorts or whatever, and I go to log it and it's episode like 48 or something. I'm like, that's like the biggest jump that it has, but it has other ones too. And I was like, that's weird that it's listed out of order.
Yeah.
But it
I don't know why they would want to do that.
It hasn't affected my, experience watching the show. It still works in that order. Because sometimes, like, I think X-Men the Animated Series on Disney Plus, like, has it completely messed up, and that does have a narrative to it.
That would suck if you're watching through that for the first time.
Right. And, like, as I'm trying to watch that, I have to have, like, this guide pulled up, making sure I'm watching in the right order. Anyway.
Extra unnecessary steps.
Anyway, I'm excited to honestly, once we're done recording here, I might just jump on and get watching a few more episodes.
It's so fun, and they're so quick. It's just like on to the next one. Yeah, recommend it.
But we also have to discuss Sonic, as that is what is being crossed over here. And I've been a big Sonic fan for a while. My friend, of course I knew about Sonic. Who doesn't know about Sonic? But
True.
I had a friend who was very into Sonic and got me, a bit more involved.
Hey, there he is.
So I got all that back there. But
well, that's a few Sonic things.
A few Sonic things. But yeah, I really like the games. I think I've played all of the 3D ones, like everything since Adventure. At least the mainline ones, maybe not like the storybook spin-offs or all the racing games or whatever. But all of the main 3D titles. I'm not very good at the older 2D ones. I'm just not good at games from that era anyway. They were designed harder back then.
Yeah.
And even today, you try to modernize it. You try to give a rewind feature and save states and whatever. A lot of emulation collections will do that, but it's still, still not easy.
No, not at all.
But I like Sonic. I like the characters a lot. It's part of why I'm very excited for the new Sonic movie. Because we're just bringing in Tails and Knuckles, and they look to be very, very well portrayed to the games. I've enjoyed the Sonic Boom series. What I've seen of it, the games, garbage. The Sonic Boom games are garbage, but the show is actually a very fun time. And if you steered away from it because you heard how bad the games were, I'd give the show a chance because it's very fun. Um, but yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. You know, it's not as fresh in my mind as OKKO is because I've just been binge watching OKKO.
Yeah.
But also like Sonic is such a big thing. What is there to say that hasn't already been said?
Yep.
They're fun games for the most part. Even when they're bad, there's something good to be found in them. Usually the music's always
bangers
amazing.
back to back.
I mean, Sonic 06, you know, notoriously the worst Sonic game, possibly, you know, the worst like game of all time. Eh.
It's up for debate.
Some people say that. I think there's worse things out there. Not to say that Sonic 06 is great, but you even look at that and it has some bangers on the soundtrack. So
did you one of like my fondest memories of Sonic is those little you remember when McDonald's would do those Happy Meal things and you would get the toys in them, and sometimes those toys were those little like one level games or whatever. I'm pretty sure it was McDonald's that did it, but they had like Sonic the Hedgehog one level toys and had like all 6 of them, and they were like shaped like one was like shaped like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Metal Sonic.
They like little sports games.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. You ever seen the foreign commercial for those?
No.
I forget what country they're for. I will send it to you after we're done here.
Is it fucking gold?
It's incredible how bad it is.
Oh no. Those games are like so fun though. I don't know why. I would play those all the I think Tails was my favorite, if I remember right. I don't remember what it was. I think
your microphone cut off a little bit there.
Well, I said I think the Tails one was my favorite, if I remember correctly.
But yeah, great games. I'm looking forward to the next one that they teased last year. But it doesn't have a title yet, at least officially. I think it's been leaked to be Sonic Frontiers, though. And it might be like, I mean, everything's trying to be the Breath of the Wild to this series, but I think it's trying to be that. From what it looks like.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, Kirby just did it pretty well.
Yeah, what did it get? I think it got like an 8.5 out of 10 or something from IGN is what I saw. And
yeah, I just
normally Kirby gets shredded.
Yeah, I just started playing it. It's really good. You would not believe that it's the first 3D Kirby because everything's just so intuitive that it feels like, yeah, they've totally done this before. They know what they're doing. They have to have done this before.
Oh yeah, good on them.
Yeah, like it's just so well polished and everything. I love it. I can't wait to finish it.
I'll have to see if I can't pick it up or something and play it and then try to return it or whatever. That'll be fun. Get it to GameStop.
But yeah, I think all that's out of the way. I think it's time to just jump into the episode now, don't you?
Hell yeah.
All right. So I did notice going into this episode, it did feel something felt different from what I had already seen, and I think the art style has changed a little bit by this point because this episode is in season 3, and I've just watched season 1. But I do think there's a change in the art style. The backgrounds are more textured. It looked like. So I wonder when that happens.
Change up happens. Yeah. Do you think it potentially could be after season 1 too, and they just got more funding?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't when it's just backgrounds. I don't think it's funding is gonna change much of that. Because the actual like animation looks about the same. But we begin. KO, as always, he's ready to begin his day. And Rad and Enid do not care. They're gonna take a nap on the counter. And in comes Sonic and Tails, and KO is, of course, very excited to meet them.
Starstruck.
Which there was something I noticed, because there's the discussion of power levels and everything, but Sonic's is just ring. He doesn't have a number, which the Captain Planet episode gave Captain Planet the power level of planet. So I'm wondering if that's just
What are these?
a thing with these crossover characters where they don't want to give a definitive power level in comparison to everything else.
Mm-hmm. I also liked how when he like showed the Sonic card, the ring on the 2D card was like rotating.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really funny. I don't know why.
Well, and we've seen, the cards have some sort of technology in them because they update in real time.
Oh, do they really?
Oh, I don't know if you've seen any of that, but like if a character's power level changes, you can refresh the card, and
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, and what would normally be on the back of the card is like a separate screen that you flip to or whatever to like look at specific stats and stuff.
Yep.
It's strange, but it's a cartoon. It's whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But in comes Sonic and Tails, voiced by the amazing Roger Craig Smith, and I don't remember how to pronounce her name, Colleen O something. Sorry. But the amazing voice actors from the games turning. And what I appreciate most about this episode is how many specific references to Sonic games it does. First we have, KO freaking out about Sonic's achievements, and he's like, this thing from Sonic 2, this thing from Sonic Adventure 2, this thing from Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. I thought that was fun, and just the little crayon drawing of Mario off to the side, but not too distinguishable because
don't want to get a DMCA or whatever it is.
They did not get permission from Nintendo for this crossover. But the one complaint I do have is Sonic is like a bit of a jerk to Tails in this episode, and like at the end, he's all like, "Oh, of course you're my best friend" or whatever. But it's like you weren't really showing him that this episode. And, like it just that felt out of character, but everything else felt really in character for both of them. I've completely lost my train of thought here. Oh, another good reference they have is, and this one's a very deep cut, but when like KO is trying to learn like how to do a spin dash and go through the loop, and Sonic just kind of like relaxes back in that beach chair with the sunglasses. That is like straight out of the Sonic OVA movie from like the 90s or whatever. You ever seen that one?
No, I have not.
Oh,
I have not.
Very fun. It's very fun. It's still back in the classic Sonic era before they got the modern redesigns. It's got Sonic, it's got Tails, it's got Knuckles in a cowboy hat for some reason.
Just big fan of Knuckles in a cowboy hat.
Always wearing a cowboy hat, like it's like as if it's just part of his identity and always has been.
Hell yeah.
Don't know where that really came from, but I'll accept it.
Saw it at the souvenir shop.
There's this old man owl character who's made up for the movie that's very fun. A very iconic line from that, by the way, is so Metal Sonic is the main antagonist here, aside from Eggman, of course. And Sonic and Metal Sonic come out ahead at each other, and they're like, like both running at the same speed, so they're not moving at all.
Yeah.
They're just riding into each other. And Sonic goes, "You may know everything I'm going to do, but that's not going to help you, because I know everything you're going to do. Strange, isn't it?" And it just... I'll just say that sometimes, because it's really funny to me.
Amazing.
I'll just throw that one out there. But yeah, very fun time. Anyway, we get little references to Knuckles just giving Boxman the Master Emerald, of course, because Knuckles is Knuckles, and even Sonic's like not too phased about it. He's just like, yep. That sounds like Knuckles. Metal KO was interesting. We get that.
I thought that was funny.
again, I'm not exactly sure how far you've gotten, but I don't think you've gotten to any of his other transformations yet. But
Nope.
it's not the only time he transforms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If I had to give like complain about it, I wish that Brad and Enid were involved a bit more, and we could have seen their interactions, because that's really the big fun of a crossover. Is it all comes together? You really get to see how everything interacts with each other, and to just put these two major characters out of commission for the entire episode and not let them get involved in any way is a missed opportunity, I think.
They just kind of sat there underneath that 200 plus pounds.
Right. It's interesting. A few of the other connections. The Boxman and Eggman went to college together. That's a strange one. I did like. Well, I thought it was very it was very strange. At the end, they did the Sonic Says segment right out of the old 90s Sonic cartoon. Or he would always he would end the episode sometimes and there'd be a little PSA from Sonic. The fact that they specifically pulled out the "that's no good" was kind of because that's a line that gets memed on, but it is a PSA. Like originally, the original context is a PSA about like pedophilia and like don't let adults touch you in ways you're uncomfortable with. But people, latched onto the meme because the way he says it and everything. But it's, I don't know, like
bad taste.
The meme I do find to be funny, but to then circle it back into something official is kind of like,
Yeah.
Anyway, that's really neither here nor there. I was just kind of in a little bit of disbelief that they did that. Overall, though, a very fun episode. As a fan of both properties, I enjoyed seeing them come together. I wasn't a fan of OKKO before we decided we were going to do this episode, but I very quickly became one. So yeah. Any other points from the episode?
No, shout out Tails though for being a real one and sticking through Sonic's or sticking by Sonic's side, even though he's being like a mega ass.
Yeah, Sonic's bullshit that whole episode.
Yep.
Yeah, Tails is good. I like Tails.
What's not to like?
That's actually there's another reference there when they kind of pulled out the Tails running after Sonic when he first met him and whatever. That's right out of Sonic Adventure. He gets that flashback to when he first met Sonic. I think it's actually handled better here than Sonic Adventure did. In Sonic Adventure, you're just kind of like, what's happening right now?
Huh?
And then they're like, oh, it was a flashback. Okay. But, yeah. I don't know if I have anything else to say. This one's just going to be a kind of short one here. I mean, we're talking about an 11-minute cartoon episode, right?
There's only so much you can put in those bad boys.
There's only so much to say about it, but
yeah.
But I enjoyed it, and I'm sure we'll cover a few of the other crossovers that they've done, because I know they've done Captain Planet. They have one that's like, was like a larger Cartoon Network thing. It was an episode of OKKO, but it also had Ben 10, sadly from the reboot, Raven, sadly from Teen Titans Go, and Garnet from Steven Universe.
Okay, that one's cool.
But so I'm sure we'll cover that one at some point. I do actually remember watching that one just as a fan of Steven Universe. I watched that one when it came out. But yeah, Cartoon Network actually, they have a lot of these little crossovers. They like to get their properties to come together a lot, especially their superhero stuff like this. Like, I just know we're gonna have a ton of sadly, we're gonna have a ton of Teen Titans Go episodes to cover on this at some point because they've done a lot of crossovers actually. You've got the Powerpuff Girls reboot. You've got DC Superhero Girls. They did Beetlejuice for some reason.
I love that.
Space Jam, except it's literally like a Mystery Science Theater like parody where they're just watching Space Jam.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that show. They have that crossover movie with the original Teen Titans cartoon.
The OG Teen Titans was like my shit when I was younger. I love that.
I watched it here and there. I really wished I had watched it more at the time and, appreciated what we had.
Yeah. Same.
I don't like Teen Titans Go at all. I did like the movie. I did like the movie they did. That pleasantly surprised me. You ever seen Teen Titans Go to the movies?
Nope.
It's actually a good time.
Teen Titans Go to the movies.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. And there's a Stan Lee cameo in it. That's just wonderful.
Hell yeah.
Okay. He's all like, I'm Stan Lee, and someone comes up to him. He's like, this is a DC movie. I gotta get out of here.
I love that.
But then he comes back later and he's like, I don't care if it's a DC movie. I just love cameos.
It's typical Stan Lee.
Yeah. He was a gem.
He was.
Anyway, we got really sidetracked there at the end. I'm looking forward to watching more of this show. I'm really looking forward to the second Sonic movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Looking forward to new Sonic games, new Sonic. There's gonna be that Netflix series, Sonic Prime. Lots of great stuff to look forward to from Sonic. OKKO, not so much. That's kind of done with, but
in its course.
There's still plenty for me to watch. I haven't seen yet though. So, so I have that. I have that to look forward to, at least personally. Yeah. Any final thoughts?
No, I'm probably gonna watch more OKKO tonight while playing some Valheim, and I am too excited for the new Sonic movie. I did hear though that it's Jim Carrey's supposedly last movie.
Just ever?
Yeah, he said he's gonna retire after Sonic 2.
Really? I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, I don't. It might have been a rumor. I could be getting some bad information. So
that's interesting because they definitely want to turn Sonic into a larger franchise, and
see that's what I
not have an Eggman for that would be strange. I mean, it's technically doable. You have Shadow and you have all these other characters, but Eggman's always there at the top with everything. So, but we'll see what happens. I'm really worried right now though, because Sonic 2 is out in a lot of other countries. You still have to wait a week. I mean, it'll be out by the time this is out, but
for
recording
so spoilers.
I don't want spoilers. Yeah. I have some ideas about what might happen, but I don't want those to be confirmed or denied until I can see it.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed for Shadow though. I have a prediction that they're gonna tease Shadow in the post-credit scene, and then he will be he'll be a large part of Sonic 3.
Oh yeah. I can see that happening.
That's my idea. I know like a lot of people are like, oh, but what about Metal Sonic? But it's like I think a Metal Sonic would be the surprise thing in this movie, if anything. Yeah. So, or you can do both. But what's wonderful about this being released after the movie is already out is that I don't have to worry about anyone spoiling it in the comments for me.
Oh, there you go. Hell yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. All right. That is gonna be it for us then. I guess we're gonna sign off now. If you're on YouTube, you can subscribe. You can leave a comment. You can't spoil Sonic 2 for me because too late. If you're listening to this, a follow would be appreciated and everything, and all that good stuff. The things that you know, they're just good to say for the algorithm, but you're tired of hearing them. I get it. I get it. I really do. But they're good to say. They're good to remind you of. Yeah, I don't know how to end this, so goodbye.
Bye.